when I look at the Florida State team, they're a 3-6 team for a reason. I really see when Logan asked the question about the pass rush, Keir Thomas and Jermaine Johnson, they're outstanding players. But man, I look at the defensive front for Florida State and namely those two guys. And then also the running backs are pretty good, Jayshon Corbin and Trayshawn Ward. Other than that, like there are good players in individual units, but the units as wholes, I don't see. They're all marginal. The wide receivers, the offensive line's not good. The linebackers aren't good. The secondary's not that good.
Amari Gainer is
yes, he's excellent. Yes,
I will say
absolutely.
That's another name I meant to mention when they were on that. Yeah, he's a dude as well. But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean it's the talent on their roster is not where it once was. But again, this is why Miami should take advantage and have another win in this series to run into 5. Falconer X, always. Thank you for the super sticker. To the comment from before Falconer X about Will Mallory, he went out after practice today and said unequivocally that he will be returning for the 2022 season for his senior year at Miami. I'm fine with it. He's a fine player. Obviously he has some things to work on before he really becomes a real NFL prospect. He needs to work on his blocking. He needs to kind of maybe reshape his body a little bit more. Again, this is a guy who played wide receiver in high school. He was 6'5", 207. He's now 6'5", probably 240, 245. So, I mean, he has some size to him, but he can still, I see his legs as being a little bit weaker, just from being a little not as bulky, and I know that obviously muscle size does not equal directly strength, but still you want to see maybe a little bit stronger base for a tight end who's going to go out and block in the NFL. But also I want to see that we're not scared to move on with other players. I think that Will Mallory is better in a number 2 tight end role. And I think that Elijah Arroyo is a better player and has a higher performing ceiling. So I would like to see Elijah Arroyo maybe invert that tight end 1, tight end 2 rotation, because you can be a second tight end and get drafted. You know what I mean? And Will Mallory has a long career here where he does some things well. And everything, and I'm fine to have him back on the team. That's I'm fine with that. But yeah, I think Elijah Arroyo is like a capital G guy compared to Will Mallory. So I would like to see that happen, where he gets a little bit more burn next season.
8th rated tight end in the country coming out of high school in Jacksonville. So here's my take on Will Mallory, and you can correct me if I'm incorrect. Is he seemed like, I, of course, in following you and us producing these shows, knew about him coming on campus and expected something out of him. I didn't see it. So this would be his 2018 would have been his freshman year. Did they redshirt him offhand? Do you know? Do you remember?
No.
Okay.
No, he just got the COVID year.
Yeah. So 21, 20. So to me, in 2018 and 19, I was not impressed with him. Then I thought he became a much more aggressive player.
Yeah.
And has now regressed after having a really good 2020. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of comments made in the live chat concerning maybe the way he's being used. Do you think it's all on him, or do you think maybe they're not using him well?
Well, the thing is, he's not Brevin Jordan, so you're not going to use him in the same way as you would of a Brevin Jordan. You know what I mean? But then ascending into the number 1 tight end position on the roster, you're going to use him differently than he had been used as a secondary option. Again, this is why I think that Elijah Arroyo should be tight end 1. You slide Will Mallory back into that secondary role, and then those things that he did well as the other option, come into play. Now, I know that Brevin Jordan did miss like half of the 2020 COVID season. So Will Mallory was at the top of the, rotation in a couple of these ways. But yeah, we are using him a little bit differently, but I think that's by necessity and by design because they are different players. But yeah, maybe you can look at using him a little bit differently, but also I just think that number 80 is a better prospect and a better player. So go and use him as like the foundation, and then Mallory can be the special seasoning on the side, I guess.
Falconer X back at it. We appreciate it so much. Do you think the emphasis on big plays was a factor in the turnovers? It looked like mistakes were made on the extra effort.
I don't think so. I really don't. I think that the ball was loose. You got Charleston Rambo switching the ball, running down the field. Now that's a play where if Rambo just keeps running, he scores. But he stops and he looks around, and then there's 4 guys around him, and you switch the ball, which takes it out of a secure position, and you got guys around you, including 3 dudes behind you, coming up. One's going to punch it out. So that's not even like, that's one where he could have just laid, after he decided to look around and kind of wiggle and see, okay, if I should or I shouldn't go here. That's one where he could have just laid down. You know what I mean? And just taking the yardage. But he switches the ball away from the one defender, but there's other guys on the, there's 10 other dudes on defense, bro. What are you doing? So that's just like, that's lackluster. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Knighton, that's, in, again, like kind of diving and twisting in the middle of the defense. You get blasted and you fumble the ball. Like that wasn't even like extra. Now, an extra play was Keyshawn Smith on his touchdown, rolling over the defender, putting an arm down and reaching the ball out. That was like one where he really was trying to get extra plays. These other ones were just like, and to a man, everyone who fumbled after the game said, yeah, that's my bad, coach. Like in that time, I know I shouldn't have. So it's not even really that they were really fighting for more yardage. They were being loose with the ball because they thought that they were so much better than Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech knew the only chance they had to compete in the game was to get the ball out. And here I had this guy running down the field with the ball all loose. Let me get that. So I think it was more that, because every other play was still a big play. We had, 17, 19 chunk play, more than that. Hold on, because I still got the stats pulled up, because I love to do that. We had 16 big plays. 15 passes of 12 passes of 15 or more, and 4 runs of 10 or more. And those runs were 14, 18, 15, and 25. You know what I mean? Like, and the passes, 19, 20, 35, 37, 19, 44, 20, 17, 60, 24, 15, 18. Like, we're chunking them all day. You know what I mean? So it's not necessarily that, because even without those plays, we're still chunking them. I just think that they were not as really focused on ball security as they needed to be. And hopefully that changes in a big, big way.